The Edo State House of Assembly has impeached the Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu. The impeachment followed the adoption of the report of the 7-man panel set up to investigate allegations of misconduct against Shaibu. 18 out of 19 lawmakers present at the plenary voted in support of the impeachment. Shaibu is the first deputy governor to be impeached in the political history of Edo State.
By head council, not just voting, and endorsements of the impeachment document the second time. I hereby on my residence pronounce that the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu, is hereby impeached.
Meanwhile, the immediate past deputy governor, Philip Shaibu, has described his impeachment as illegal and will not stand the test of time. Shaibu, in a video on social media, called Governor Obaseki a dictator who has detailed the course of democratic principles in the state. He, however, described all the allegations against him as trumped-up charges.
I denounce in strongest terms the illegal impeachment by the Edo State House of Assembly over trumped-up charges. This is not just an attack on me as an individual, but on the very democratic principle that we hold there. It is a dangerous descent into dictatorship and a threat to the foundation of our democracy. Let it be clear that this impeachment was hushed because of my ambition to contest the Edo State 2024 governorship election under the People's Democratic Party, PDP. An ambition that is a legal right to all citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's a sad reality that in our political landscape, ambition is met with resistance, and those in power seek to silence opposition through illegitimate means.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined in the studio by Barrister Andrew Emwanta. He is a constitutional lawyer and the immediate past Commissioner for Information in Edo State. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
It's
a pleasure to be here this evening.
Good to have you. So the problem between Governor Godwin Obaseki and the former Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu reached a climax today with an impeachment. I think many of his supporters cannot still believe that this has happened, including you.
Yeah, I think it's a reign of impunity. You know, when I saw that video of the Deputy Governor, you know, with suspended animation, I said this was a government he joined in establishing. At some point, I served in that government as a commissioner. So if Edo people are to blame, we belong to that category of people to be blamed because we brought in Obaseki as governor. So we are vicariously liable for the acts Obaseki commits, acts of executive lawlessness, of brigandage. It didn't start today. This was a governor that prevented 14 elected lawmakers from sitting. At that time, some of us were part of that government. We didn't resign. So we accept responsibility because we were part and parcel of a government that does not respect the rule of law. A member of the House of Assembly was there when this process started, and he noted that a copy of that impeachment notice was not served on him. The deputy governor was not served with the impeachment notice. The committee that was set up, there was an order of court. They refused to obey that order. A lawyer went there to inform them of the order, and they said, no, they will not obey an order of court. So we find a situation where the rule of law is being violated, and it is Obaseki GSC, the governor's uncle, that said, in a situation where the rule of law, right, is violated, anarchy becomes the sole beneficiary. And he said executive lawlessness is tantamount to a deliberate violation of the Constitution. So Section 188 was not followed. The deputy governor was not given fair hearing. He was not even served with the impeachment notice. Even the man that was sworn in today as deputy governor was sworn in without the approval of the House of Assembly, contrary to Section 191 of the Constitution. So if it's a government that we complain is lawless, Some of us who were once in that government, we apologize to Edo people for allowing such a very lawless government exist in the history of Edo State.
Talking about the rule of law, the State House of Assembly did give Shaibu a chance to defend himself. He was asked to appear last week Thursday, last week Friday. He did not show up, neither did his counsel. So you would say that at least he was given an opportunity.
Can I quickly correct that very erroneous impression they have been trying to force in the minds of Nigerians? Section 188 is the entire, you have about 10 or I think 11 subsections. Each details the steps that must be taken. Once the first motion is brought before the House, you don't need two-thirds majority for it to go through. The second is that the details of impeachment must be served on him in person. That was not done. Rather, they went chasing shadows. Oh, he's not in town. There are official routes of communication. As Deputy Governor of Edo State, there was a time he acted as governor. There were times the House of Assembly passed bills. There were communication channels by which those documents got to the Deputy Governor. So if there's an impeachment notice and you refuse to serve the Deputy Governor, but rather you now decided to put it on the pages of the paper, it is only a court order by which you can now serve by substituted means. The Speaker now converted his authority to that of a judge to now serve the Deputy Governor, who of course they said was not in town, on the pages of the newspaper, when they are official channels. Not done yet. The Chief Judge in a commando fashion set up a panel. The panel was inaugurated on Thursday. A court order was given before that time. The Chief Judge was served with that court order. The members of the panel, 4 of them, because they have bias, and under the Constitution, under Section 36, when you have bias, you recuse yourself. Another was given. They refused to obey the order. Only for them to say they got a report from a panel that did not even invite the Deputy Governor. The truth is, when the rule of law is jettisoned, as I said before, anarchy becomes a sole beneficiary. This is a man that, in 2020, the governor was the one that cried out, against authoritarianism. That's what is playing out. But the Deputy Governor who is sworn in today claimed that he was brought in because of the votes they want to get from Akoko Edo. He was sworn into office against the provisions of Section 191 because the House of Assembly did not approve that illegality that took place in the name of swearing in. So it is democracy that is on trial. Mr. President must please take note of the dictatorship we now experience in Edo State, where a governor single-handedly removes a deputy governor who was elected and now appoints somebody in his place without the approval of the State House of Assembly.
So now that he has been removed, what are his next steps?
He's in court. There are no next steps because he's in court. The order of court was disobeyed. We were even in court today. The governor sent 5 senior advocates. The matter was adjourned to Thursday. So why the haste? He was hurriedly impeached. The deputy governor was hurriedly impeached. They were all parties to that case. The House of Assembly was served a copy of the order. Every other person, the chief judge, the members of the panel were served a copy of the order. For us to wait till Thursday, they said no. They must quickly remove Shaibu so that the court cannot do anything. So that a court order having been disobeyed, we have to go back to the court because the deputy governor, just as he said, the voice of truth and justice, you cannot silence it. The House of Assembly cannot silence it. The governor cannot silence it because what we have in Nigeria is a constitutional democracy.
Well, I would imagine that he's a bit shattered right now, and you said he's going to court to contest this. I mean, the elections are in September, so the time is almost over.
I don't think that word shattered is right.
Right.
It is democracy that is shattered, not the deputy governor. You see how relaxed he was. You see the setting. The governor cannot boast of that kind of setting. He's always fidgeting because looking at the speaker this evening on TV, I was surprised that he was counting words. Because when you do the wrong thing, you cannot defend it anywhere. This same speaker, it was the deputy governor that paid for his nomination fund. We were in court to prevent them from being kicked out as candidates of the PDP. The governor did not play any role. The governor was supporting Labour Party candidates. The person who was sworn in today is a Labour Party candidate in the last election. So for the governor to decide not to even bring people of his party on board, though by hook and by crook, the deputy governor and the governor were elected on a joint ticket. If there was anybody to replace the deputy governor, assuming but not considering the impeachment was properly done, it should be a PDP member, not a Labour Party member. And the person in question is not denying that he was a candidate of the Labour Party who contested on that platform. Emwanta, the governor offered me Labour Party ticket. He pretends to be in PDP. He operates as a PDP member during the day and Labour Party at night. So the appointment, though illegally, of the fellow that was made deputy governor today is a confirmation of Obaseki's romance with the Labour Party. We know that there are 5 cases against Aswa Ighodalo And we know that the court will say that PDP does not have a candidate. That is why he's romancing the Labour Party. And that was why he was in a hurry to quickly bring in a Labour Party person, so that when the PDP does not have a candidate, he supports the Labour Party candidate, Akpata, his cousin. So for us, we are not fooled. Edo people are the true judges. At the appropriate time, Edo people will decide on the 21st, because this is about election. The reason why the deputy governor is being kicked out is because they see him as a threat. He's in court over his mandate within the PDP. So the reason why they are doing this, Edo people are the ones that will decide whether Obaseki will be allowed the opportunity of continuing by way of a third term, because he wants a third term by all means. And he feels that removing Shaibu is the surest way for him to achieve his 10-term ambition.
You have hit the nail on the head. This is more of a supremacy battle between the governor and the deputy governor, and the succession. The Shaibu wants to become governor, and Obaseki doesn't want that. And then Shaibu organized his own factional PDP primaries, where he declared himself winner. Why should he do that? A lot of people are of the view that he shouldn't have gone down that road.
Well, that's a conclusion that you cannot conclude that he did organize. People came from the national. 6 of them said what the governor did at the stadium is a charade. That's what is in court. The governor is only begging those who went to court. And because he could not achieve it, that's why he wanted to use the impeachment route. The primaries organized by the party was the one that produced both Aso Egudalu and the deputy governor.
But
the matters are subjudice. No, please, I don't want us to. These matters are in court. It's not something for us to discuss. It's because I'm a lawyer in that matter. That's why I even have, because ideally I'm a member of the APC. I really don't care if they are killing themselves in the PDP. But what I think ultimately is that Edo people on the 21st of September will come out to decide if they will allow a dictator to continue by foisting his own political godson, or if they want a party who has a candidate, who has a clear agenda to rescue Edo State from the present dictatorship. What is not in doubt is that Edo has been thrown into a dictatorship. Obaseki now operates a government of lawlessness. It now operates a government that obeys the law more in breach than in observance, and a government that is rooted in impunity.
But INEC does not recognize the primaries that, where Shaibu was.
No, it is for the court to decide. INEC is a party in that case. There are about 5 cases challenging the primaries conducted by the PDP. They have 5 cases, and we know that, as a matter of fact, those are 5 solid cases, and that's the nightmare the governor is having. Impeaching Shaibu, will that make his own candidate successful? Will that change the hands of what the court will do? The answer is no. And how does that help the candidate of the PDP?
The elections,
Shaibu?
Yes.
How does that affect him? Right? It does not affect the chances of a party. Rather, it throws the party more in crisis, because you have now appointed a Labour person, a Labour Party member, as your new deputy governor.
I was coming to that. The elections are in September, not far away. No. Certainly, this will affect the PDP in a big way.
It is like asking if it is 9th. It is 9th, certainly. It will definitely affect them. It shows that the government is so disorganized. The House of Assembly did not swear in, or rather did not screen that person. By law, Section 191 says, for you to appoint a deputy governor, assuming but not conceding a vacancy occurs, the House of Assembly must approve. But what the House of Assembly did from their record was to impeach the deputy governor. While the impeachment was on, the person the governor wanted to appoint was in the government house, was sworn in. He even considered that his traditional ruler came as early as 6 a.m. So these things were pre-planned. And to say that a governor who claims to be educated will act like this leaves much to be desired. That's why I said we take full responsibility for bringing Obaseki, who is a very lawless person.
Do you
for supporting him? We regret supporting him in 2020.
Do you think that Shaibu is a bit too ambitious? Maybe he could have waited a little bit.
It may be, in the words of Mark Antony, that his ambition was not made of external stuff, but ambition is ambition. Nobody can deprive a man from aspiring. A good politician will put in measures. Impeachment is not one of those measures. If you are a governor, you have the power of state. But because a man believes in always doing things illegally, he always believes using force. The better man is not the man that has power or abuses it, but the man that refuses to abuse his power is a greater person, not the man who chooses to abuse his power. But the truth is, Obaseki cannot stay in government beyond November 12th. He loses immunity on the 12th of November this year, and all the infractions he has committed against both the financial laws, because as a lawyer, I know as a matter of fact, they hardly beat contracts. Procurement laws are violated on a daily basis in Edo State. What we have is a complete charade. The governor does not respect laws, and on the 12th of November, the laws of Nigeria will catch up with Godwin Obaseki.
There's a broader issue here. a governor, deputy governor, and the State House of Assembly. In most cases in Nigeria, the State Houses of Assembly are like the lapdogs of the governor, and they do the bidding of, the executive governor. As a constitutional lawyer, what can the country do about this? Because it's a problem everywhere.
I think it is our electoral process. I told you earlier that the governor offered me a seat in the House of Assembly under the platform of the Labour Party, and I rejected it. Because for him to do that, he wanted me to be his stooge. And I said, no, I'm too intelligent to be used as a stooge. Virtually all those members you find today were handpicked by the governor, single-handedly. And I think it is our electoral process, first with the party primaries. The primaries in PDP was not properly conducted. It was a complete, and that is why for us, we regret. We never knew that Obaseki would be a dictator. In 2020 when he was crying, oh, Adams Oshomole. He has even done worse than Adams Oshomole. So you find that we don't have strong institutions. It is for INEC to live up to expectation, because INEC must ensure the way they monitor the general elections, party primaries. Why will a party like PDP have 5 cases challenging their primaries? Why? Because they don't do things right. So it is for INEC and other institutions like the judiciary to help strengthen this democracy. It's work in progress. It is not for us to complain, that it is the kind of person we elect into public office. It was a mistake Edo people made in 2020, and we regret voting Obaseki. We never knew it was a tyrant that we were all supporting. He pretended to be a victim, but today he's now the godfather, he's now the tyrant, he's now the dictator. So I think it is for Nigerians to watch out for people like Obaseki. It is not individuals. Don't we have other governors in Nigeria? But they will not behave the way he's behaving, because he's a lawless person. It's
not the sole responsibility of INEC only, though. The political parties themselves, the members of the party, they certainly have a role to play. There's only so much that INEC can do.
And I will tell you why. Because PDP as a party, they make this mistake of saying, oh, the governor is the leader of the party. But the truth is, just as the former governor of Rivers has said, and I agree with him, that most of the PDP leaders are tax collectors. They were busy collecting money from the governor. If I tell you the monies that were spent in the last PDP primaries, you will weep. There was even an allegation that $2 million was given to the party leadership, and that's why they were all quiet. And that's why in a situation where the deputy governor had parallel primaries, should that shock you? The same party materials they gave to the governor's faction, they gave the same number of materials to the deputy governor's faction. They created the parallel primaries. In Benin, PDP has 2 secretariats. So it is an internal crisis issue of the party, and that's why they will keep having parallel primaries and they'll keep having court cases. You cannot say that of the APC. The APC was able to organize themselves. They don't have a single matter in court. And it is for Edo people to decide ultimately between PDP, which presently represents impunity, and the APC that has learned from their past mistakes.
Barrister Andrew Emwanta, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Well, that's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, goodbye and thank you for watching.